This is Robert Augustus, and I play as Augusto on the Lone Wolf US PvP server. The goal of this guide is to show the steps to prepare a new hunter for Blackfathom depths, starting the second they hit level 25. I will cover runes, pets, gear, consumables, world buffs, as well as necessary reputation grinds, and gear awarded from PvP honor ranks. With all of this information, you should have no trouble getting into a BFD raid, even on the same day you finish level. First thing, after level 25, go to the Hunter Trainer in a major city to train class and pet abilities you might have skipped while leveling, and update your bars and macros with the highest spell ranks. You don't want to use rank 1. Make sure to train your pet resistance skills and other skills you might have missed during your leveling journey. These are the main runes you will need right now for BFD. Most hunters should be using Beast Mastery talents, at least until you get the raid crossbow or perhaps the gun, after which you could consider Marksman as an option. If you snag a raid two-handed weapon, weaving becomes a really attractive option, even as full Beast Mastery talents, and you could think about builds that include the Savage Strikes talent in the survival tree even. Heart of the Lion provides the King's buff to your raid. It might be the main reason you get an invite to that pickup group BFG raid and trade chat. If you have another hunter providing Lion to the group, you can use Master Marksman, which provides the crit and the mana reduction as a personal DPS gain, assuming you still have the King's buff. Beast Mastery provides your pet with an actual taunt on a 5-second cooldown, which can be useful on several fights in BFD. Since Explosive and Chimera Shot were initially hotfixed shortly after release, the Beast Mastery rune has been the best option in the hand slot. Pets make up half or even more of the hunter's DPS, and with this rune equipped, mana is not an issue as it might be with Chimera Shot. Kill command was changed, and it no longer is consumed by Scorpid Poison or Lightning Breath casts. If you're using kill command, the procs should be spent on Bite, which you should teach to your Wind Serpent or Cat or Raptor. On fights where melee weaving is possible and using a strong two-handed weapon, Flanking Strike combined with a 2.0 speed Cat or Raptor will provide more damage than Kill Command, especially if you benefit from a Druid who is bringing Wild Strikes to the raid. But make sure not to use Sharpening Stones or Mana Oils, as you won't be able to benefit from the Wild Strikes Wind Fury buff. Pets. Scorpids dominated the early BFD lockouts, but after adjustments, the best option is now to bring a cat or raptor, or perhaps a wind serpent, depending on the situation. The cat and raptor pet families can learn both bite and claw at level 25. These are the two families with the highest damage modifier, but cats have higher health pools while raptors have more armor. Pet attack speed is a factor in flanking strike damage, so for a raid, you will want a 2.0 speed cat or raptor to maximize your damage if you're using flanking strike over kill command. Wind Serpents used a ranged lightning breath nature attack, which does nature damage. This is useful in BFD, especially on the turtle boss Gamu Ra, where physical DPS struggle because of the boss's Aqua Shell ability, and cats and raptors are not as good as Wind Serpents. Wind Serpents work if you want to run Kill Command over flanking, but you need to use Bite, and you'll have to toggle between the Bite and Lightning Breath abilities when you use the Kill Command procs in order to efficiently use that rune. Also, you might need to toggle Bite at the start of the fight in order to send the Wind Serpent into melee range. Obtaining a decent ranged weapon should be one of your first priorities upon hitting the max level. If you're still using a white vendor bow, you have a couple of options. Both factions have a decent quest reward bow for fresh level 25s. The Alliance should head to Wetlands for Raptor's End, a 2.9 speed bow, while Horde will need to finish the Sacred Flame quest chain in Thousand Needles for Cliffrunner's Aim, which is a less desirable 2.3 speed bow. The next step would be to farm the Dark Iron Riflemen in Wetlands in order to acquire the Steelarrow crossbow, which you can also buy from the auction house for a reasonable price. This is the slowest ranged weapon available this phase, and will remain competitive until you can get the Warsong Gulch Reputation bow or a raid drop. Outriders or Outrunners bow is available for purchase after reaching Revered with the Silverwing Sentinels or Warsong Outriders, depending on your faction. The Ashenvale event has been changed to reward large amounts of Warsong Gold for rep, which has made the grind much easier, and the mount is now available at Friendly. Consider spending a day or two in the Ashenvale event to get this bow before you can raid. Once you have a ranged weapon, you need to decide on two-handed versus dual wielding. For weaving, a slow two-hander is going to be the best option, but dual wielding will allow dual sharpening stones or perhaps multiple mana oils in case you might need more mana, or on fights where weaving is not possible or ideal. Horde can pick up the Runic Darkblade, a 3.3 speed two-handed sword for free from the final part of the Battle of Hillsbred quest chain, but keep an eye on the auction house for items like Tunnel Pick or a Brutal War Axe of Agility. For one-handers, you can get a Cruel Barb from Deadmines, and you can pair this with the Warsong Gulch Revered Dagger in your offhand slot. To fill out other slots, you may need to form some dungeon groups, but hunters are capable of solo farming parts of certain dungeons at level 25 to farm our own gear. Beast Mastery hunters can easily farm Leggings of the Fang from Lord Cobran solo, but you might need some help to complete the RFK Escort quest for the Monkey Ring, which provides one less agility than the ring from Blackfathom Depths. Other items, like the Warsong Boots or the Deathkin Belt on Horde, are quest rewards that just take a little time and effort to go around and collect. Profession items are needed for some slots. Some blues, like the Deviate Scale Belt and Toughened Leather Gloves, are bind on equip, but the Void Touch Epic versions are only available to those with leatherworking skill. Engineers get access to an early helmet slot option with goggles, but it has no DPS stats. Some important items, like your trinkets and sergeant's cloak, are locked behind PvP ranks, while others, like the blue neck and rings, are only available after reaching Honored with the Silverwing Sentinels or Warsong Outriders. The Warsong Ghost rep will also give you a mount at Friendly, which will help you get to raid faster. Finally, you can turn to the auction house to replace any last outliers in your gear. Level 23 to 25 bind on equipped greens of agility are some of the best pre-raid options in the chest, cloak, and wrist slots, and dark leather shoulders provide a cheap shoulder option. Big ticket items like Humbert's Helm, Mantle of Thieves, or Trollbane's leggings will last you a long time, even maybe to the next phase, but they are going to be going for very high prices right now. Consumables. Mana potions can be used if necessary. Free action potions can nullify certain boss mechanics like the ice blocks on Lady Cerevis or Lord Kelris's shadowy chains. Shadow protection potions and strong troll's blood potions can be popped in advance of the fight if your raid is having trouble with healing. Elixir of Lesser Agility is a battle elixir. It's going to be your best DPS option. It won't stack with Ogre's Strength or Giant's Growth, but Elixir of Fortitude is a Guardian elixir, so you could stack that with Lesser Agility. Smoked Sagefish is going to be your well-fed buff. It provides 3 mana per 5 seconds. Sagefish can be farmed in Merkfallen Lake in Stone Talon, or along the rivers in Hillsbrad or Ashenvale. Tender Crocolus Stew provides 8 stamina and 8 spirit. This is an option if you don't need the mana from Smoked Sagefish, and the Crocolus can be farmed in wetlands all along the western part of the zone. Scrolls of Agility and Strength are useful as they can be applied to your pet. They last 30 minutes and they can provide a DPS gain. Blackfathom Sharpening Stones and Mana Oils provide 2% ranged and melee hit or 2% spell hit respectively. These are options if you're not in a Druid Wind Fury group, but if these are applied to your weapon, you will not be able to benefit from the Wild Strikes buff with a Druid. Engineers can use Heavy Dynamite. This is going to be useful on boss phases with adds or just to add extra damage. And there's an Easy Throw version which is useful for non-engineers. World buffs and the Chronoboon. The two major world buffs you can Chronoboon in this phase are the Boon of Blackfathom, which is dropped frequently in Thunderbluff or Darnassus, and the Darkmoon Fair 10% damage buff Sage's Dark Fortune of Damage. It's available when the Darkmoon Fair is in town for the week. The Ashen Veil Battle Cry provides 5% damage, but this buff cannot be Chronobooned. You could get this every week from turning in the quest drop off the enemy leader in the Ashen Veil battle, and you'll get the Drums item, which provides you the 2-hour buff when used. Buy a Chronoboon Displacer from the reagent vendor in a major city like Org or Thunderbluff, and use this to boon your buffs in order to save them for your raid. Also bring an extra Displacer in your bags in order to recapture your buffs when you finish the raid. Bring extra arrows in your empty bags and move them into your quiver. This way you'll open up slots as you go through the raid. Bring a whole stack of meat or fish or whatever pet food you need to ensure your pet's happiness level is maintained throughout the raid. If you're running low on bag slots, consider buying the Darkmoon Fair bag or farming it while the fair is in town. This can open up a few extra slots, especially with the quiver restrictions for hunters. Also, you can farm the new supply and logistics rep for the 12 slot bags. This concludes the Season of Discovery Hunter Level 25 Pre-Raid Guide. Hopefully this information should allow you to get into a BFD raid and get some gear. Next video is going to be on Black Fathom Depths raid encounters from a hunter perspective. And if you found this helpful, definitely throw down a like or a subscribe. And the next video is going to be coming pretty soon here. So that should help you guys getting into the raid. And we'll have more videos throughout Season of Discovery.